everyone, and welcome to Asian Viewpoints. I'm Mary Sitt. Have you ever been to a play and you've absolutely loved every minute of magic in that theater? Well, the person who is responsible for every aspect of that final production is the stage director, and that person controls everything from costume design to the way the actors perform. Here to tell us more is Zhou. She is a stage director and educator, and her career includes everything from theater, musical theater, opera, dance, and ballet. Mo, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me, Mary.
Last spring, you were the stage director of a French opera put on by the Boston Baroque. And say the name for me in French.
Iphigenie on Tauride, but you can just say Iphigenie in Tauride. That's in English. Okay. That's a translation.
Okay.
Yep.
So you had assembled a world-class crew and a world-class cast. The top singers, lighting director, everything. And then the unthinkable happened. Tell me about that.
Well, it's not. Yeah. So it's the typical opera drama. So we have the most amazing Wendy Bringhammer. She is a fantastic singer. So she's supposed to sing our title role, Iphigenie, with Boston Baroque, and unfortunately, she had to withdraw very last minute due to personal injury. So we have to find someone within hours, and that person flew that person in within 24 hours before our final dress, and also it's our press, when the press and the invited audience came.
Okay, so Mo, when you say at the very last minute, you're talking 48 hours before your final dress rehearsal, your person canceled because of an injury, and you had to fly a substitute in. And where did that person fly in from? Another country, or? So
it's actually not me. I have to give credit to Jennifer, the executive director of Boston Baroque. So luckily, so it's Iphigenie, so it's not like Mozart role. There are 200 soprano who can do that. So it's only a handful of people can do that. So as soon as we find out Wendy unfortunately need to withdraw, we basically start calling everyone we knew in the business. Mm-hmm. And I think I remember I called my former colleagues at the Met and Juilliard. It was and I'm so moved. They stepped out in the middle of their own final dress, their own Met competition, start calling people on our behalf. And fortunately, within 4 hours, we found Canadian Greek soprano Sula. I probably will pronounce her name wrong. Sorry, Sula, if you're watching this. Sula Paradis. So she just sang Iphigenie in Athens, and then she was on vacation in a tiny, teeny island in Greece, and we tracked her down. And if that's not funny enough, I was actually stalking her for weeks when I was rehearsing my Iphigenie, because she just did that, and her approach of her Iphigenie and with my production couldn't be like more opposite. Hers is all bloody and all like a very, very rusty and earthy. Mine's a little bit different. So I was stalking her on Instagram and every day having panic attacks. Like, oh my God, my Iphigenie is not like it. My production concept is not like hers. Then 10 days later, she became my Iphigenie. So
was there a conflict, or how did you meld those different philosophies of how to portray the character?
Well, so it's a different thing, and Sula actually said it's really funny when she did this Iphigenie, the content is the same. So when she did it in Greece, the Greek director set everything in Tennessee, so it's all American jeans and all the pickup truck. And then when she did it in America, in Boston, we kind of did everything like timeless, Greek inspired. So she said it seems like American just trying to be Greek, and the Greek aspiring to be American. I really want to give the credit to the music director of our Boston Baroque, Marty Pearlman. It's really listened to, he has a 30 minutes lecture at the end of his CD recording, where he talked about why Gluck, the French composer, what he was trying to do at the time. Okay. He said Gluck was trying very hard to strip down all the embellishment, just really streamline everything to the storytelling. Once I heard that, I just found it, I feel like, okay, so everything is about the core of the four main characters. So all the blood, all the ritualistic, sometimes I keep calling the paganism in the show, has nothing to do with the storytelling. At its core, it's about four people isolated in their own mental crucible, and how do they reconcile, or not failing to reconcile, with their own personal trauma. And when we have that idea, and also we were not doing a show in a traditional proscenium theater. We are doing that in a TV studio. So they are very limited like a scenery we could do.
Right.
When you have that idea, I just realized we can't really do anything too realistic. And we also couldn't do anything by just like updating that to modern time, take away a lot of the power.
Right.
So my costume designer, Neil Fortin, who is a very, very amazing costume, he's actually based in UK. So I said, is there any way we can do it like a Greek inspired, but still kind of like a modern take? And he said, great, Dolce Gabbana did a whole Greek fashion line back in 2017. So he said, well, let's just go Dolce Gabbana on that. So as you can see in the production photo, there are Greek elements, but we are not 100% Greek. So everything is almost like by distilling everything and then just focusing everything to the music and the storytelling and interaction of the character. I think a stage director, you need to have, in a way, you need to have a critical thinker. You need to be, first and foremost, we are storytellers. So you need to be interested in telling a story. But then you need to be interested in telling a story with your point of view, but also not suffocating the original idea, because after all, we are interpreters. So, and then you need to really like to interact with a lot of people and negotiate and collaborate with a lot of people. Because I always say, because these days people say, what do you do? When I say I'm an opera director, they all thought I was a conductor. So metaphor, when you go to see an opera, if you close your eyes, everything you hear with your ears are the conductor, the maestro's job. Like the tempi, the loudness, like the timbre and everything, how the treatment of music is all conductor. Now, if you cover your ears, everything you see with your eyes, scenic design, costume, lighting, acting, where does this person go? Chorus, when do they get on stage? When do they exit? All of those stuff are my job. So inevitably, you need to deal with all sorts of department. So in a way, you need to be a people. Not saying you need to be super outgoing, but you need to love people, interacting with people, and also learn to negotiate and collaborate, and sometimes compromise and building a team together. And then you have to be really, I would say, resilient. Because it's a very, very, sometimes mentally, physically, it can be very taxing. So you just need to be a very resilient, and then, and also unfazed, because all kind of things happen. So
because it's live in real time, so you have to be on your feet and think quickly, right? Of how to adjust and come back. Tell me, how much success or blame should go to a stage director for a production success or failure?
It's very hard, depending on how you define success or failure. Are we talking about commercial? Are we talking about critical claims, like reviews, or are we talking about audience feedback? So I start to think, at least for my own, I stopped seeing anything as a success or failure, because I think different people have different definition. To me, I want to make sure it's a fulfilling experience for the entire team. I want to make sure, and I gave the credit to my own teacher, Anne Bogart. I remember even when I was a very early director in my grad school, she said, we can always tell the temperature of your rehearsal room on stage. So it doesn't matter how well rehearsed if your actor, your team was not having a good time, this kind of intensity will be shown on stage. So to me, a successful experience will be we create a very good collaborative experience. Everyone worked very hard, had a great time, and is the story being told clearly, and is the music and the drama married perfectly together.
So how do you interpret something when you get a play and you're the stage director, and you're telling a story but through your lens and the way you see things, right?
Yeah.
Do you collaborate on that, or are you pretty much straightforward of this is how I see it, and you have a vision very clearly in your mind?
I think, Director, I always feel like 80% of our job is done before the rehearsal starts. So when you get a opera like Iphigenie on Tauride, the first thing you go is why. I have a theory. For those classical pieces that stand the test of time, there got to be something in what I call the thorn in its heart of the piece. There got to be something very special that resonate with the audience back then. So what I would do, first thing I would do is I would do research on the composer's biography, research what time was the piece composed, what specifically incident or social undercurrent, social historical undercurrent is the piece responding to? What is the composer trying to do? And how does the audience respond to? Because these days, when you think about Marriage of Figaro, you think that's a very pure entertaining piece. But it was written, Mozart wrote the opera at the eve of the French Revolution. And think about that time with kind of sizzling social societal tension, to have a commoner servant outsmart the aristocratic master. That was a big deal. So that's what I gave you example. That's like once you pinpoint, this is like the thorn of the heart, then you try to resonate. Okay, in 2023, how does this kind of message resonate with where we are right now? Then we make a decision. Are we updating that? What kind of world are we setting in? I'd rather not to be the smartest person in the room. I'd rather create a great like environment that every single person will bring out their best ideas, that everyone's best idea bring together. That's where the most exciting production happens. So I, of course, will do my due diligence. I prepare everything. And once I walk into the room, I share my vision, and I will be very curious and keen, honest, like earnest about the performance idea. And usually I would say 50%, I would tweak 50% of my original concept ideas with a tailor for them. So it's kind of like marriage that we meet in the middle. And that's where the most organic production happens.
Thank you so much for sharing with us about this.
Yeah, thank you again for having me. Yeah.
Thank you. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button below and be sure to subscribe to this channel. I'm Mary Sit. I'll see you again in the next video.